Hi everyone, welcome to another Vane devlog. I think you probably know how these go by now, so we'll jump right into it. We've been working steadily on the game and we're happy to show off some stuff we've been doing. As always, Vane is free on Steam right now. If you haven't played it, please try it and wishlist the game when you get a chance. Azzy has been speeding ahead with buildings for the new Champlain Valley map. They've added a set of warehouses, which will contain a variety of themed loot, from cleaning supplies to electronics to mechanic parts. They've added a radio tower and station, where we'd like players to be able to eventually create their own broadcasts. The tower is, of course, climbable, but doesn't have many defenses of its own. We're excited to see what type of bases you guys make using it. Azzy's built the Redford Veterinary Clinic, where players can find valuable medicine and supplies. They've also added a construction office, which will be used in conjunction with the construction yard. Finally, they've created the new version of the Redford Fire Department. The old building's garage is a bit too small to fit fire trucks realistically, so the garage has been expanded. The overall look of the building has also been retooled. Let us know in the comments what you think about the new buildings. They still need a detail pass, so they're somewhat empty right now, but that's coming up next. On the AI side of things, zombies have received a couple improvements. The blood on them has been reauthored to run better. As part of the new zombie mesh system, zombies now have lip sync and facial animations when they yell. This gives them a bit of a more aggressive character. We did find that when they opened their mouth, they had beautiful white teeth, which was a bit jarring, so we've given them a few weeks of tooth rot. Characters now have ladder animations, as part of our slow improvement to the art assets in the game. Weapon maintenance, as an in-game stat, has been turned into repair. We figure that makes more sense as there was no repair stat prior to this. Your character portrait is now visible in the character menu, so you can see your character's face now instead of having to rotate the camera in a vehicle or use other workarounds. We've added some new hairs and fixed a lot of hair performance. The new zombies caused hair to be a big drag on performance, so we've spent some time optimizing it and making it look better. We've fundamentally changed how the perk system works. Before this change, perks were automatically awarded when you crossed the skill threshold. So for example, if you became level 25 in a stat, you'd just receive a perk for that. Given the nature of Vane and how we work on it though, we'd get ideas for perks all the time, but just not know where to slot them in. We'd have to take out perks or replace perks with other ones that we thought were better. Now we've changed the system so that you get to pick your own perks. At level 25, 50, 75, and 100, you'll get a point with which you can spend on a perk that you might find useful. Some perks, like before, only get unlocked at certain levels, so you'll need to be level 100 to unlock level 100 perks, but you can also spend your point on a level 50 perk if you wanted it more, for example. Characters, zombies, and animals now leave persistent blood, and bullets leave bullet holes. In addition, walking through a puddle of blood will cause bloody footprints to be left behind for a bit, whether it's a player or an NPC. These features don't have an impact on performance thanks to the system we've developed. A bullet hole that is shot on day 1 of a server will be there a year later, unless something or someone removes it. We want to look more into this sort of effect. One common complaint about Vane's world is that the world is a bit too clean for an apocalypse. However, Vane starts just a couple weeks after the apocalypse occurred. There will be some pre-existing damage, but we want players, NPCs, and zombies to create their own post-apocalyptic chaos as well. One part of that is showing where past conflict and damage occurred. In the same vein, we're currently working on semi-persistent corpses. Dead bodies won't just vanish forever. This has to be handled a bit more delicately for performance reasons, but we're on track with it. We've finished the item repair system as mentioned in the last devlog. You can now repair items by way of scrap. This has to be set up on a lot of items though. Backpacks now function as clothes on characters instead of equipment like they were before. Thanks to the community for noticing this. We've added some new clothing models for some of the pre-existing clothes placeholders, like dust masks or ear protectors. We've tweaked the flashlights a bit. The flashlight item now shines farther and brighter, and the default flashlight is a bit more focused. Towels are now renamed to wet towel if they're wet. This is because every single person who has played Vane has made themselves wet by accidentally wiping themselves with a wet towel. We've added a usable lighter as a light source in Vane. It emits heat as well, just not much. We've also added a usable kerosene lamp, which requires kerosene to function, and like the lighter, acts as a light source and a heat source. As always, you can put whatever you want in the lamp, but we suggest kerosene instead of milk or gasoline. By community request, we've added an auto detection to the settings when the game first launches. Some players on low-end hardware were having issues getting to the settings menu, so that should be fixed now. We've been working slowly on reintegrating AMD's FSR2. Right now it's not a huge priority though, simply because performance is bottlenecked by another part of the game right now. Once performance is bottlenecked by screen resolution, we'll focus harder on this. We've added support for Unreal Engine 5's Nanite virtual geometry system. It's off by default because it costs around 3 or 4 milliseconds of render time, which is equivalent of going from around 60 FPS to 50 FPS. However, it's an option for players if they want to turn it on. The benefit of Nanite is that you will experience no mesh pop-in if it's on, so it's useful if you have a very powerful computer or want to take high-res screenshots. We've added a cull distance setting for grass as well. This is something that's bothered me when taking screenshots in Vane, so now you can make grass render from super far away. We've created keybind categories for easier keybind menu navigation, and we've also made the Take All button in inventories rebindable from H by community request. We've done some work on the ATV animations. You probably didn't see this in the last devlog, but the character's legs clipped through the front of the ATV. We fixed this. We've done several tiny changes to vehicles. For example, being underwater drains the engine oil. Explosions also do more damage. We've been working on a unified material system for weapons. We don't really have progress to show on this, but the idea stems from seeing footage from the newly released game, Trepang 2. We noticed they had several effects on their weapons like raindrops and blood spray affecting the weapon, and we want to get some of that in Vane as well. I've been playing with some experimental vehicles like bicycles and helicopters. They're super low priority right now and more of something that I just do in my downtime or when sleep deprived, but there's no progress really to show with these yet. A new dialogue system is being worked on. We've relied pretty heavily on plugins until now, but we've decided to work on a custom solution. It's going to allow much more cinematic structure than we've had before, with custom camera movements, multi-NPC dialogues, quest triggering, animations, effects, etc. It's only in code right now, but there may be something for the next devlog or release. Finally, we're pleased to announce that we've created an official wiki at vane.wiki.gg. It currently has no content, but it's there if anyone wants to contribute info about the game. So that about wraps it up. As you can see, we've just had our heads down working for the most part. We're probably going to release a mainline update once the new Champlain Valley map is done, so we don't have a date or anything yet. Like I said earlier, Vane is currently free on Steam. Be sure to toss up a wishlist if you haven't yet so that we stay in Steam's favor. We are really close to 50,000. Thanks for watching everyone, we really appreciate it, and we're excited to play Vane with everyone once it's ready. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.